From hungry sharks and snapping turtles to alien-looking sea spiders, here are 15 things you never want to see while fishing. Number 15. Sea lampreys. Here's a critter with a mouth that might make you think of an organic garbage disposal. But even though its circular rows of sharp teeth might present a frightening image, experts say that it would take the creature a long time to bore through your skin and do any significant damage. And it would likely never get the chance because you'd never let the lamprey stay attached to you. Since these animals return from the ocean to breed in fresh water, anglers can encounter them in shallower waters. Even though they can give you a scare, experts say they're more concerned with breeding than they are with chomping humans. Number 14. Human catch. When a fisherman at Bandung, Indonesia took part in a fishing competition at the Citarum River, he was hoping to win a share of the $14,000 prize. He did snare a big catch, but he was wearing blue jogging pants and a white shirt. Turns out the fisherman snagged a dead human body at the bottom of the river. It was the corpse of a young man who had recently fallen in. According to officials, there was no sign of foul play. No word on whether the fisherman got a share of the prize. Number 13. Blobfish. Many people have remarked on how this creature's face resembles that of a grumpy old man. Well, maybe you'd be grumpy if you had slimy, gelatinous skin like this critter. But that squishy physical trait helps it survive depths approaching 4,000 feet or 1.2 thousand meters. The blobfish can float over the seafloor thanks to its gooey flesh, which allows it to swim while using minimal energy. Although they dwell in deeper waters, the animals can encounter humans when they're caught and brought to the surface in bottom trawling nets. Number 12. Asian sheepshead wrasse. Found in the western Pacific Ocean, this species of wrasse fish is among the largest. They can reach nearly 40 inches, 1 meter in length, and weigh more than 30 pounds or 14 kilograms. They're noted for the unusual protrusions that provide the illusion that the animal has a forehead and a chin. Many people think the sheepshead wrasse has an unsettling human appearance, so it might be an alarming sight to see while fishing. However, there are stories of these odd-looking fish striking up friendships with humans. In one case, it's reported that a Japanese diver maintained a relationship with a sheepshead wrasse for more than 25 years. If you catch one, maybe you'll end up making a friend. Number 11. Monkfish. These anglerfish look scary, but they're popular menu items. Some people call them the poor man's lobster thanks to their agreeable taste. Sometimes they're caught unintentionally and can provide a frightful sight for those unfamiliar with the critters. They have huge noggins, beady eyes, and enormous mouths filled with sharp, pointed teeth. And there's more than one set. If their mouths are open wide enough, you can see a second set of choppers at the back of their throat. Number 10. Fishing disasters. Inclement weather is always a concern for fishermen, but there have been cases where the weather has become so hazardous that it reaches tragic proportions and many lives are lost. One example is the Yarmouth disaster in 1998, which resulted from a violent windstorm that struck the southeast coast of Scotland. It resulted in the drowning of 189 fishermen, most of whom were from the village of Yarmouth. By all accounts, it's the worst fishing disaster in Scottish history. Graves and granite memorials of the tragedy are still standing today. Number 9. Great white shark. A lot of anglers like to brag about bringing in a big fish, but sometimes a big fish turns out to be a shark. That was the case in 2019 when a commercial fisherman and his girlfriend were on their boat in the Florida Keys. Suddenly, a humongous great white shark burst out of the water. It was attracted by the chum bag or bait bag that was hanging off the back of the boat. The fisherman said he saw the shark circling the vessel a few times before it leaped for the 100-pound, 45-kilogram bag of bait. The beast's length was estimated at about 16 feet or 5 meters. Aside from the shock, the great white caused no harm to the humans, to the boat, or to the bait. Number 8. Alligator snapping turtle. Some anglers in Oklahoma got a big surprise while they were fishing in a little river. Tangled up in their trot line was a fearsome-looking alligator snapping turtle. They're often described as appearing like modern-day dinosaurs. While they're not nearly as large as the ancient animals, they can still reach some impressive sizes. The one found in Oklahoma was estimated at around 100 pounds, 45 kilograms, and measured 4 feet long, 1.2 meters. They're among the world's heaviest freshwater turtles, and exceptionally large specimens have reported exceeding 400 pounds or 183 kilos. After removing the line and hook, the fishermen took a few selfies with it and returned the reptile to the river. Wildlife officials advise using caution when dealing with these beasts. They have powerful jaws, and their bite can lop a finger clean off. Number 7. Lost at sea. A few segments back, we mentioned the Yarmouth disaster that occurred in 19th century Scotland. In the 20th century, a fishing disaster occurred that served as the basis for the book and movie The Perfect Storm. The Andrea Gale was a 72-foot, 22-meter commercial fishing vessel that sailed out of Gloucester, Massachusetts. Her final voyage took place on September 20, 1991, when the 6-man crew was headed to Newfoundland, off the eastern coast of Canada. There were warnings of dangerous weather conditions, and a storm struck as the ship was headed home. According to the captain's weather report, the ship was being hit with 30-foot, 9-meter waves, and wind gusts exceeding 90 miles per hour, 150 kilometers per hour. Evidence was later collected from the weather buoys indicated the waves could have reached 60 feet, 18 meters or more. The ship's final reported transmission occurred on October 28, 1991, indicating a location near Canada's Sable Island. An extensive search was later called off as it was concluded that the Andrea Gale and all hands were lost at sea. Number 6. LINGCOD fish. This weird-looking fish is native to the west coast of North America, all the way from Alaska to Baja, California. They're big creatures, weighing up to 70 pounds, 32 kilograms, and measuring some 5 feet long or 150 centimeters. Maybe the biggest thing about these critters is their mouth. These are voracious predators that use their gaping gob to feed on anything they can jam in there. That includes, but is not limited to, salmon and rockfish. Did you know the lingcod gets its name due to its resemblance to the lingfish and the codfish? But it's not related to either species. Number 5. Alligator Gar. If you see a fish like this, you might think you've gone back in time. The alligator gar is often noted for its prehistoric appearance. In fact, they're regarded as living fossils because they've retained physical traits of their ancient ancestors. Its family is thought to date back more than 100 million years to the Early Cretaceous. They have torpedo-shaped bodies that can extend 10 feet long, 3 meters in larger specimens. Some have reported weighing nearly 330 pounds, 148 kilograms. Their alligator-like snouts inspire their common name. Thanks to its fearsome appearance and sharp teeth, the critter is often thought to pose a danger to humans, but 0 fatalities have been linked to the animals. That's not to say they can't be aggressive. One of them did bite Jeremy Reid while filming an episode of River Monsters and left him with a bloody wound. Number 4. Faceless fish. Since it's formally identified as a species of cusk eel, this one is also called a faceless cusk. They're usually found at extreme ocean depths of 17,000 feet or over 5 kilometers. That means they're not often encountered by humans. But when they are seen, they have a face you won't soon to forget. That's because they essentially seem to have no face, as the common name implies. Some researchers in Australia found that out in 2017 when one was caught during a deep-sea exploratory mission. Actually, the creatures do possess facial features including eyes, nose and mouth, but they're difficult to make out. Did you know that this fish had not shown its face, or lack thereof, in Australian waters since the late 19th century? Number 3. Shark versus sharks. Hall of Fame golfer Greg Norman is nicknamed the Shark, so there was some irony involved when Mr. Norman had a run-in with 2 of his namesakes off the Florida coast in 2019. He had hooked a 80-pound, 36-kilogram black-tip shark when the crew detected a massive hammerhead zeroing in on the catch. After circling, the hammerhead took a bite of the massive fish and swam off, but it soon returned and swallowed the black-tip whole, including the line. The hammerhead drew huge amounts from the line and reel and engaged the 41-foot, 12-meter vessel in a battle that lasted 45 minutes. When the shark was pulled to the side of the boat, the crew was able to estimate its size at nearly 15 feet, 4.6 meters, weighing more than 1,200 pounds or 544 kilograms. It might have been a world record, but the stats are unofficial since the monster was never brought to shore. The huge hammerhead was soon released, and it swam out to sea. Number 2. Basket star. Well, it looks like an alien life form, it's found on Earth, albeit under the waves. This strange, writhing creature resembles an octopus, but it's actually a creature identified as a basket star, which is a distant relation to starfish. A fisherman in Singapore reeled it in along with a couple of clumps of seaweed that are abundant in the region. Although it appears to have hundreds of tentacles writhing about, it has only 5 arms. Those arms are divided into branchlets, which are more than dexterous. The critters feed mainly on zooplankton and usually inhabit waters around 6,000 feet deep or 1.8 thousand meters. Number 1. Sea spiders. Experts say these creatures are closer to spiders than they are to insects, but they're not true arachnids. One thing is for sure, there's some scary looking marine arthropods that can exhibit leg spans exceeding 2 feet, 70 centimeters. Unless you're fishing in the waters of the Arctic's Southern Ocean, you probably won't encounter larger specimens of these monsters. High oxygen content in polar oceans is thought to trigger the greater sizes, but the animals are found in various sizes all over the world, and many species may inhabit shallower waters. How would you like to haul in one of these nightmares? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for our next exciting episode right here on Epic Wildlife.